President Trump's immigration proposal was drafted by his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Now, critics contend it fails to address key parts of the immigration debate. Rafael Bernal is a staff writer with the Latino section of The Hill newspaper, which covers U.S. politics. He's also a former practicing lawyer. So there is criticism that the president's proposal doesn't really do anything to address all of the issues that the U.S. is seeing right now, especially at the border.
Well, certainly it doesn't do much for the border. It doesn't do much for the underlying causes of mass migration to the United States. And politically, it doesn't do anything, and in this case, absolutely nothing, to entice Democrats to come into a deal. So, I mean, Democrats have gotten tired of saying the words "dead on arrival" all day.
What is your sense? I mean, this is a proposal that is likely or not likely to make it through Congress.
We don't even have the text of a bill yet. This is a proposal, sort of like a wish list. It's very similar to proposals made in the previous Congress. The Republican Senator John Cornyn, for example, he was very realistic about the idea that this is not going to become a law, but this is something that he thinks President Trump and people down ballot from him, Republicans down ballot from him, can campaign on for 2020. And the way he put it is, if they win, they have a deliverable for the voters that put him in office.
Is that why we are seeing this right now? I mean, what do you make of the timing of all of it?
I think all legislation, all proposals, and anytime a politician opens their mouth in Washington right now, they are thinking about 2020 and nothing else.
Immigration is complicated. This is an issue that Trump's predecessor, Barack Obama, worked on quite a bit during his time in office. Why do you think it is so difficult to get something together where both sides can agree on something and get done?
Well, it's always been something that the U.S. Congress has trouble dealing with, and certain cases where there's been leadership from the White House, like Ronald Reagan is the most often used example, there has been progress. There was that amnesty in 1986. Since then, part of the problem is the immigration system has been designed sort of either like Frankenstein's monster or basically with patches on top of patches. And eventually you get to a system that doesn't make sense. And voters in different parts of the country that have very different views on immigration, very different interests, so very little interest within Congress to come to well, they don't even know if there is a real medium at this point. There has to, and Barack Obama, you mentioned him, a lot of Democrats blame him for the current situation because when he had control of all branches of government in 2008, he decided to go for healthcare instead of immigration. Many immigration advocates believe that was a betrayal of what he campaigned on.
What we saw earlier today, so merit-based legal immigration system versus the current family-based system. Is that really such an offshoot, considering there are some instances where there are certain visas where people can get in based on extraordinary talents? How big of a change really is this?
I mean, it would be a complete change in the way the U.S. does immigration. The visas for extraordinary talent and so on are the part that could be argued sort of works in the system. The system is broken. There's no doubt about that. I think observers on the right and left agree on that. What the system usually is meant to do is, first of all, the family unification. You know, if an American citizen marries a foreigner and wants to bring their spouse here, make that easy on them. That's a core issue. But it's also designed to bring in a lot of workers that then get prepared, get training, whether it's high degree university training or whether it's being very productive working in a field, they get American training and they do American jobs. That's sort of been the tradition that now this White House wants to change into bringing people who've already succeeded outside but just want to live in the United States. A question some Democrats have asked is, do those people actually exist? If you're a successful lawyer in Norway, you're probably going to stick around Norway.
We'll have to see what happens with this. Rafael Bernal, thank you so much for your time.